Welcome to the episode 20 of the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. That's right, we actually came back and we're ready to do our podcast again. We need a little bit of a vacation, I'm sure you guys understood. Well, everyone did. I didn't, because I just, you know how it is for me. I just fucking work all day. But this week we tackle a new topic, which was brought up after the Comic-Con. It was brought up, the Cuddle Cosplayer conversation was brought up. It's a good topic, I have to agree with that. And we had a lot of good conversational points on it, and a lot of, I wouldn't say we had disagreements, but we really dug deep into the conversation. So let us know if you have anything else you want us to discuss, and we're more than happy to do so. Also, just want to congratulate us. We broke 13K on our Facebook page. That's actually pretty huge, being as which that not even, 4 months ago we're at 300? That's pretty big for us, so we're very proud of everything we do around here, so we just want to make sure it's out there. Right now, I just wanted to put it out there, if you're a listener of our podcast, and you're a musician, or an artist, or basically want to be a guest on our show, we're always looking for guests. So send us a message on our Facebook page, The Droids You Are Looking For Canada, just send us a message that way, or follow us on Twitter, The Droids You Are Looking For Canada, all abbreviated, underscore Canada, just send us a message that way, or even just send us an email, The Droids You Are Looking For Canada at outlook.com. And with that, let's start this podcast. I get a little funny with the editing, so I hope you guys like it, and have a chimichanga.
13,000 strong on Facebook. Welcome to the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. And it starts now.
And here we go.
Yep. Done. Hello and welcome to the Droids You're Looking For podcast. I'm Andrew and we're remote podcasting today with Rainer, Todd, and Rick. Today we're discussing something a little more serious than our regular topics. Cosplay is not consent. However, we'll still have some fun with a lightning quiz round so we don't bring the tone of the podcast to be a little too serious. So, cosplay has been a pretty hot topic for the last few years as it's grown in popularity. Things like if you don't make your own costumes, you aren't a real cosplayer, to sexy cosplayers being labeled as fake geek girls simply looking for attention. None of this, in my opinion, can or should stand. What's worse is there's some cases where people are harassed, either in person or online, for perceived cosplay out of body type, race, or gender. And all of these things are pretty reprehensible and deserve to be spoken about, but today is about cosplay not being consent. Now, when I'm thinking about cosplay, and I'm sure this is fairly universal among us, I think about fans, creativity, community, people coming together and geeking out about their common interests. Now, when I think about cosplay, I think about it as fans coming together, creativity, community, and people really just geeking out about common interests. Unfortunately, some people, be it convention goers or convention promoters, sometimes end up using cosplayers. Sometimes it's relatively harmless, like taking a photo without asking, or using a professional cosplayer's photos to promote without permission. Sometimes it's more inappropriate, but generally harmless, like putting an arm around a cosplayer during a photo without asking, or more inappropriate, like mocking a cosplayer's craft skills, their body type, questioning geek cred. Sometimes it even goes far as groping a cosplayer during a photo or after, and promoters using sexual innuendo in their marketing. Now, we all know sex sells when we see it in commercials and hit TV shows, music videos, and just about everywhere we look. However, in cases where it can potentially put people at risk, I take some exception to it. Now, this was the case with Austin-based Capital Comic-Con using a close-up of DC Comics' Power Girl's chest with the tagline, "Everything is bigger in Austin." Now, this is simply using sex to attempt to pander and promote to their male audience. However, with growing female demographics coming to conventions and more embracing geek culture every year, that kind of promoting may be a little off-putting. Enter Toronto Comic-Con. Now, I want to start just by saying the convention was very well run. It was efficient. It was well laid out. Lines at signings moved along quickly, photo ops were handled well, and the celebrity guests were handled well. There were some space concerns. Things could get cramped and crowded in the vendor area and artist rows, but that's fairly typical of any convention, and was definitely expected. There were plenty of cosplayers. All of them that I asked were more than happy to pose for pictures, and I attended a few panels and had a really great time. So when I got home, I immediately took to Twitter to post pictures and tell everyone how much fun I had. It was then I saw the article on ComicCon that was tweeted by Jenna Bush. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with her, she was the host of the YouTube show Cocktails with Stan, which is Stanley, and is a contributor on Fan TV Voice, where she writes all sorts of geeky articles about televisions, movies, and other entertainment. After back and forth with her on Twitter, I expressed how happy I was that something like that hadn't happened at Toronto Comic-Con, which is now presented by Fan Expo. That's actually a fairly recent development, which is who's the largest convention promoter in Canada, and they've been running for about 20 years. And she pointed me to an article printed by Jill Pantazzi on the Mary Sue, which is a website that highlights women in the geek world and provides a place for voices of geek women to be heard. The story surrounded an email blast sent out by Toronto Comic-Con with the tagline, "Escape the deep freeze this weekend, cuddle a cosplayer." Now, considering the last year or so, harassment policies at conventions have been at the forefront of geek news forums and websites, and the growing calls for clear and concise harassment policies, be it online or at a convention, I was shocked that this was part of their promotional package. It can be easily seen as something very tongue-in-cheek. However, it can also be misinterpreted as something else when asked to take it down or change or issue a correction, they added "with consent" in parentheses. Now, I can see how this can easily be dismissed, and I'm sure it has been by many, as simple tongue-in-cheek reference to the horrible winter we've experienced here in Canada. And it has been really horrible. And I can relate to that, and wouldn't have given it too much thought. However, the response to our request for press passes encouraged us to show off our full frontal nerdity. Marketing clearly is using a blanket approach to use sex to sell everything, even as "sorry, we gave out all our press passes already" message. Trying to find their policy on harassment wasn't too hard, but it wasn't really prominently displayed on the front page like it is for Emerald City Comic Con, and unless you're actually looking for it, you're probably not going to find it. Now, having read the harassment policy, it's short, sweet, to the point, but again, considering the amount of coverage this issue saw at the start of the last convention season and throughout most of last year, it's something I feel that should have been more prominently displayed on the front page of the website, at the very least, is something every con should do, even if it's just a graphic icon that has a short blurb about harassment, and then maybe leak it to the page's harassment policy page. It's a small thing to do to show support for something that's a much larger issue, and certainly something that's important to me as a cosplayer. Now, it's unlikely anybody's going to grope my ass, but it's always possible. Now, I had a great time at Toronto Comic-Con. I neither experienced nor witnessed any cases of harassment or inappropriate touching, and all the cosplayers that I reached out to for comment, the Toronto X-Men, Don't Panic Cosplay, and Betty Newcomb, all told me that they had a wonderful time, had no problems with attendees or staff, and I was really happy to hear about all that. But at the same time, I still think a stronger stance could be made so that there's no room for misinterpretation in the future, and featuring a more prominent approach to the harassment policies might go a long way to helping promote the con to future cosplayers. What does everybody else think about it? Rainer, you cosplay very frequently. You were at the convention. What do you think?
Well, I guess it's... my cat just jumped off the couch. I don't know. I think that any kind of harassment policy should be put into effect. They need to be more strict about it. I mean, they're strict about their weapons policy, considering the fact that you can't have anything made of wood. I mean, I can kind of understand, but having my hockey stick being taken away for being Casey Jones didn't sit well with me. But the fact that some conventions don't seem to be as strict about harassment kind of bothers me.
All right. What do you think? What do you think we might be able to do to kind of get this changed going forward?
Oh, fuck if I know. Honestly, it's what can we do? I mean, what can we really do? Except for the only thing that things will change is if enough people get harassed that they either stop attending the con and the promoters stop making money. That's the only way it'll happen. If someone loses any money or any kind of promotion, they will make a change.
All right. Todd, I know you're looking to cosplay a little more than you have already. How do you come at this? What's your perspective on this issue?
Well, I mean, there's a couple things that unfortunately did disagree with what you said. This is my third time going to the Toronto Con. The first two times were the Fan Expo. This is the first time I went to the, I guess you want to call it the Winter Con. But regardless, though, it was a shit show, is what it was. I'm not going to say it was a bad con, but the faults that they had in the previous year when I went were still there. And to go to your point about what you said about the photo ops did move along very well. The setup was pretty bad, and I was lucky to be willing to wait in line a half an hour before my photo op started, which you should, right? I mean, realistically, when I went with Tara and she waited almost 2 hours to get a picture with Norman Reedus. I waited 30 minutes for Eliza Dushku and Irone Singleton. But it could be done a lot better. I think that they just half-assed that part of it. In terms of the cosplay part of it, and this is what grinds my gears. I understand that we don't want to have some type of harassment. I get that. But at the same time, though, which cosplayers sometimes do forget, is that when you're at a Comic-Con and you have dressed up at a Comic-Con, you are now a celebrity at this Comic-Con. And I'm not saying not everyone has this problem, but I did notice, which it was very small, very, very, very small, maybe 2 instances that was there, of cosplayers getting a little bit annoyed that they were being stopped to get their picture taken. I understand that when you've had a long day and you have had a lot of pictures taken of yourself, especially in your costume, it gets annoying. I get that. But at the same time, though, when you're acting like the Tom Cruise of the show, you're going to have to deal with it. And it sets a poor precedence for other people around you, because there's going to be people like maybe me that one day I want to cosplay, and if I see that kind of is going to want to turn me off. But I mean, it wasn't huge to the point that it needs to be a topic on its own, but it's just kind of like a genuine message. Now, in terms of the sex part, we are in a state now that MTV has garnered a sex sells attitude from the late 80s, early 90s, and now is transformed into the now where everything is about it. I won't lie to you, when I did read that rejection letter we got for Toronto Comic Con, I reread it 4 times because I thought it said, you can still come down and hang out with your full frontal nudity, is what I read the first 4 times. I understand why they did it. It was very clever, because you had my eyes on the attention line, but it's not needed. Because obviously I'm going to go, if I'm going to spend the time to apply to get a press pass, which I didn't get, which was given to other people who didn't deserve it, I'm going to go either way. And we ended up having a fantastic time. We got to meet a bunch of new people. We got to meet a lot of new cosplayers. We got to hang out with that Joker guy who proposed his love to me, which was very odd. And overall, we had a great time. But the sex sells part, I get that. And what was her name again? Miss Marvel, you said it was? For the Texas tension line, they said?
Power Girl.
Power Girl. See, I don't know that much. But, you know, when you dress up in a sexy costume like that, I'm going to say you're inviting this, but at the same time, though, you're kind of advertising it. Like, it's kind of like the conversation we had before. It's like, if you're dressing in a costume as Batman, dress as Batman. Don't have your tits hanging out. It makes sense to me. But I mean,
at the same time, Power Girl's costume was designed that way, and it wasn't actually a picture of a cosplayer. It was direct from the comic.
Okay. Well, in terms of that's been around for years in terms of the type of attitude in Texas. Am I wrong?
No, it's not wrong, but at the same time, to use it to promote a convention,
why not? Why not? That's what we do now. That's what sells everything. Like, I mean, why do we watch Spike TV? We watch Spike TV because it's action, there's tits, and eventually someone goes to the bathroom. That's what Spike TV is. I mean, that's how they garner their audience. It's horrible. I'm not saying I'm a fan of it, but that's what they do. So to throw a public stink about, well, they're doing this at a convention, that's how they're getting people there, I think that's bullshit. I mean, there's bigger people that are doing it worse.
Yeah, but at the same time, how many kids did you see at Toronto Comic-Con?
I mean, I did see it. Actually, I was annoyed with the one lady that I was trying to get around to go see that Joker guy that had her baby in her arm and was like dangling her kid that trying to look at something. That was annoying. I don't think I've seen a lot.
No, but there were definitely a good number of younger children at Comic-Con that they would hit a demographic level.
Well, the demographic to me would have been between that 19 to 30.
Oh, yeah, they were certainly we're certainly the majority.
But you can't stop it though. But I mean, whether you go to Tim Hortons or you go to a Comic-Con, there's going to be someone that's inappropriately dressed that kid's going to go, I want to look like her and be a $2 slut and Welland.
It's got nothing to do with how someone's dressed. It's using sex to promote something that's a family-friendly event. Right,
and I understand that. But the thing is, though, is that this has been garnered for so many decades now, we can't say, well, we have to stop. You can't. You can't stop the boulder from coming down the mountain at this point, because we've garnered it for so many decades. Like, I'm not saying it's right, because I know it's not right, but I want it to stop. But at the same time, though, I can't even open a comic book now without having some type of sexual innuendo in it. So whether it's in a con or a comic book, you're still going to see it. Like, I mean, I recently got into the Harley Quinn series. As much as I'm a Joker fan, Harley Quinn series. Every comic, she's barely wearing any clothes. Every comic. I think it's unnecessary, personally. But I'm still going to read it. But this is what's being pushed out to our kids. So maybe this needs to be pushed back further than maybe the Comic-Con. Maybe it needs to go back to maybe DC or Marvel and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't make your comic book so sexually innuendo.
Well, certainly there's a lot of room for improvement, and just getting vocal about it is a good way to start the process of changing that sexual innuendo, changing that sexualization to sell everything, especially geek culture, as it grows and starts to become more inclusive, or so that it can become more inclusive to everyone, not just, dude bros.
But it's going to take more than a Comic-Con. It's going to take a hell of a lot more. The Comic-Con is only using a sales strategy that has worked for other companies. That's all they're doing. I'm not... But I mean, at the same time, though, like the Toronto Fan Expo, did you see a pair of tits hanging on their logo?
No.
But they did do things.
It was the cuddle with the cosplayer that got everyone's attention.
But I mean, it's just words. I mean, it didn't say openly grope. Like, I can between the two things, I can understand it says, when you're at Toronto Expo, make sure you give someone a good fingering when you're there. No, it didn't say that. It basically said cuddle with cosplayer. Like, if this was in the 80s, we would have been like, okay, that just means hang out and get a hug from a cosplayer. The 90s, we would have been like, oh, this gives me a chance to be closer to a cosplayer. 2000, automatically sex. That's how...
I don't know when cuddling became an innuendo for sex. I thought cuddling was comfort.
Exactly, but the question is whether or not it implied touching a cosplayer without consent.
Well,
and like I said initially, it can be seen as something very, very tongue-in-cheek, but if the wrong person looked at that and saw that and read that,
right,
they could take it to another place.
But I mean, at the same time, though, I can say, hey, Rainer, you want to come over for a ride? What are you going to think? We're engineered to think this way. Cuddle a cosplayer, sure, that's one I would say, you know what? If you want to think it's a sexual thing, that's your thing. I can understand the full frontal nerdity bit. That one is blatantly saying a sexual innuendo. But cuddle a cosplayer, I don't see that as sexual.
It's not at all.
No.
Like, people are there cosplaying and people want pictures. Like, it's not, hey, go rape a cosplayer. That's escalating a lot.
What's Miss Marvel's magical power? Not rape!
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure that, Cuddle a Cosplayer has nothing to do with sex. Full Frontal Nerdity, that's a play on words. Yeah. That could be more of an innuendo, but...
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, maybe their intention wasn't for, like, a sex sells thing, and maybe it was just like, I see what they did there, you know?
Yeah. No, and I'm sure that was what they were going for, but I
think people need to stop reading into certain things a little too much, though. Like, making a big deal out of Cuddle a Cosplayer, I don't feel it needed to be made into a big deal at all. It's just Cuddle a Cosplayer. Get your picture taken with them. Don't be and it's not even, like, the thing is, cosplaying as Casey Jones, I got a few people that said, nice Casey Jones! But because I wasn't cosplaying as something mainstream, like Thor or Loki or Batman or Harley Quinn, I didn't get any recognition. Not that I'm asking for it.
Yes, you are.
But unless you're cosplaying as something mainstream, those are really the only people that are going to get any attention.
And the follow-up of that point, I have to agree with this point, is that the whole Loki thing, I like Loki, but there was way too many Lokis there. And there was only one male Loki.
It doesn't help. I'm not one to tell people how to cosplay. Cosplay is what you want. But I've never seen so many doctors, and I love Doctor Who. But it's like, I don't know. I'm cosplaying as things I grew up with. I grew up watching Ninja Turtles. I cosplay. I'm gonna make a yellow jumpsuit. It'll be April O'Neil. How many people are gonna recognize that? How many people are gonna recognize me as Lydia from Beetlejuice? And I think that even going as Tess from The Last of Us, probably not going to be very well known. But if I go as Ash, sure.
Maybe.
I
think that, I think the cosplaying was great and all, but then at least, sometimes when I see cosplaying, it bothers me in one hand because there's a lot of people who are, it's kind of like the conversation I had with a cosplayer today named Megan Douglas, who was at the con, was that I was basically giving her some ideas about her strategy to get her known as cosplayer, and one thing I said to her is that if you want to stand out as a cosplayer, and do not do any type of sexual or nudity photos. Those will automatically ruin you before you even start. And thirdly, you have to stay away from either be creative and make your own costume, which people do. Like, you got your Jessica Nigris, you got your Belle Shares, you got those people who actually sit down and build their costumes. And you have to, or go mainstream and constantly be mainstream. You can't have one or the other. But I think it's hard to be recognized at a con as a cosplayer when everyone is the Joker. I love the Joker, but nothing bothers me more than seeing everyone dressed up as the Joker. And I don't know. I saw some really badass costumes. I think the favorite costume that I'm going to say that happened at the con, not to get too completely off topic, was the guy with the Scarecrow costume. It was quick. You can tell he put a couple weeks into it. It didn't cost him that much money. Not the second guy, the first one who had the actual circular head mask. That was badass, because you can tell when you look at that he had to spend at least a few weeks building it. It didn't cost him that much, but it was more of the creativity points that he got on it.
I don't think it makes anyone less of a cosplayer if they don't make it. Some people just can't sew. I can't draw. It doesn't make me, obviously I'm not an artist because I can't draw. If you can't sew, if it's just not something you could do, that's not your fault. You could try and try and try and try, but if it's just not in your blood to do it, it's like some people don't have a green thumb, some people can't sew, some people can't cook, it doesn't make you less of a cosplayer. I'm just starting to sew. I'm not very good at it, but I'll get better because it is in my blood. Both my grandmothers have done it. All my aunts do it. It's in me. It's in my family.
Right.
And
I think we should get Rick in this conversation.
Let's bring this back. Let's bring this back to the cosplay as consent topic, and bring Rick in on with his opinion on the issue.
I wonder if he's still there.
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Because you don't say anything.
Well, that's because it wasn't his turn. He was going in the order that we'd agreed upon. Thank you, Rick. I'd appreciate that.
So, well, the other thing on it is, I'm not a cosplayer. I don't really have any desire to be one. I love it. I love looking at all the pictures. Some of the costumes are like, oh my god, how did you even do that? To your points, I mean, okay, the cuddle a cosplayer. The first thing that comes to mind to me is, isn't the whole cuddling, wasn't there a whole big joke that, no, I don't want to have sex, I just want to cuddle? So I don't even see cuddling as a reference to sex. Physical contact, yes. I think we're just at a point where, I mean, the world has become so PC that someone will find something you say offensive. Like Todd said, hey, you want to ride? I mean, someone is going to take that as an innuendo. Majority of the world isn't going to. So no matter what you do, someone is going to raise a red flag and say, oh, that's offensive. Which fucking sucks. I hate that about the world today. But what can you do? The full frontal nerdity, yeah, that's blatant. There's really no way around that one. But I mean, you look at, yeah, sex sells. It doesn't always appeal to everyone. I agree there are more and more female cosplayers, more and more female geeks in general. Personally, I think they were always there. They're just starting to come out of the woodworks. And a lot of that, I think, is because of the cosplay. One of the things that I love about it is for the most part, I mean, geek culture has always been, I mean, they're shy. They don't come out of their shell. I mean, that's a general persona that comes around that lifestyle, that culture. Thanks to things like Big Bang and, I mean, shows like that are bringing it out into the open, basically making it mainstream, that it's making it more acceptable. But that persona is still going to be there. One of the things, like Todd was saying, is, I mean, if you're going to dress up in a costume, go to a Comic-Con, go to some place like that, yeah, you're making yourself a focal point. It is allowing a lot of people to basically come out of their shell, do more with, I mean, what they love at that point. Which, I mean, I love that fact on it, but yeah, you're going to make yourself a focal point. So you are then going to be a star, which means you're going to attract attention. If you're the kind of person that doesn't want the attention, maybe it's not the right hobby for you.
True.
In terms of sex sells, look at Europe. I mean, they have commercials that you can't even play here in the US or in Canada, just because they are so sexual, and they've always been that way. Personally, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. But at the same time, it's not using those commercials in a way that may promote inappropriate contact with people at their product. That's really where the cosplay is not consent goes to, is the fact that promoters using sex to sell tickets, Cuddle a Cosplayer, everything's bigger in Texas, with a shot of Power Girl's boobs, can be misinterpreted and misconstrued by people as an opportunity to get closer than perhaps a cosplayer might appreciate.
Then you know what? Those people are not being raised properly if they think that they can inappropriately touch a cosplayer because a convention suggested it by selling it. Oh my god, there's a shot of boobs. That means I could touch boobs on all these cosplayers. No, you are not thinking it in the right way. It's not even the fact that they're promoting it in that way. If people think that, that's their own issue. That's their own stupidity, and that's people not raising their kids right.
Right. And really, if you don't... some people need to make these type of decisions before they make it. Like, for example, if we're at a con and someone inappropriately touched Rainer or even my girlfriend, do you think they're going to make it out of that con?
No, they won't.
No, they really won't, because I keep everyone on a tight leash.
And I mean, I agree with you on the fact that, okay, so you use boobs. All right.
That's a shocker.
That's not gonna make me think, oh, sweet, I can go and I can grab them. No, it is gonna make me stop and read the sign, though.
Well, yeah, that's the point. It's supposed to catch your eye, and I think I understand the point of the article. But I think that I wouldn't say that people are blowing it out of proportion, because you know what? It's always been a standing agenda item, whether it's a ComicCon or TV or movies or whatever. I think there should be a voice behind it, and I think that maybe there should be. You can't say that we need to bring awareness because everyone knows. I think that everyone's aware of it, but they're kind of like, it's just tits. I think that's how everyone's looking at it in one hand. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't say, I'm not saying that we should promote it. Like, I mean, really, this is how people function. Tits and like how sex sells and everything has been around for hundreds of years. Whether it's someone being a prostitute or someone trying to get in to watch medieval times. I mean, ultimately, not medieval times recently, but I mean, that's how it's always worked over the years. So you can't really blame an expo for saying we have the big ones here, where you watch any movie trailer or you read any comic book or you play any video game. Like, come on, the Dead or Alive franchise here, guys. They spent money making boobs bounce and people bought it.
Grand Theft Auto has freaking...
Grand Theft... People are all worried about the younger generations being brainwashed by a Comic-Con. There's people playing Grand Theft Auto in front of their kids and helping them beat the fucking prostitute with the black dildo after they get sex. And we're worried about tits. Who are we blaming here?
Not the right people.
I'm not saying that Rockstar is in the wrong. It goes back to parents. My parents... It took my parents years to let me play Mortal Kombat. I had to brainwash them.
Well, I guess that's different for guys, because for me it was... Like, I used to play Mortal Kombat with my cousins. And
well, that's how I did it, eh?
What?
I went to my friend's house. Like, my parents refused to let me play Mortal Kombat because there was blood and tits or whatever. So I just went to my buddy's house. His mom didn't give a shit. I got what I wanted. But I mean, really, the advertising is out of control, and I agree with that. But I mean, at the same time, though, if you're going to start a campaign to stop something like that, you got to start at the root cause, and the root cause is society. Not a con. It's society. This is what we promoted. This is what we want every time we watch TV. You got to fix it there.
Yeah, look at GoDaddy.com. If anything, those commercials.
Like, even going back to Rick's conversation about the commercials overseas, there is a commercial that sells a car about a girl who actually puts a stick shift inside her. And that's on TV.
What about the Sprite one?
Or the condom commercial.
Yeah.
That we can't see because, you know, our FCC or whatever we have here is out of control and doesn't let us see those things. But
the one with the balloon animals?
Yeah, but over there, they don't give a shit. They don't care. That's crazy. But, I mean, we're totally off topic. I'm going to kind of loop us back now.
Shocker.
I know, a podcast with this. You know what? This wasn't completely my fault. Completely. Not completely. So...
I'm still blaming you.
Fine. Whatever. I'm being quiet now.
So,
Awkward.
Awkward.
I mean, I do think it is blown a little out of proportion. I don't think, obviously, I haven't yet been to a con. I'm going in June. I don't know that I see it being as huge. Also, as I was saying, you're putting yourself out there. They're going to use sex to sell. That's part of it. They're always going to do that. There's no way around that. It's a lot of people getting the wrong impression. Seeing a picture of boobs does not mean you can grab them.
Isn't that like the standing agenda item for any strip club?
Yeah. No touch, you get kicked out.
Yeah.
So why would it be different at a con? Why would people assume that you can touch boobies at a con because a sign has boobs on it?
Well, I mean, I was talking to Megan Douglas, and she has a picture of Deadpool groping her. And I was like, dude, this is funny you do. I saw this picture because we're talking about something similar. She goes, no, I gave him permission. I'm like, oh, yeah, he asked? I was more shocked that he asked. It wasn't the Deadpool that we saw. It was a different Deadpool.
Well,
but,
I mean...
I'm glad that he asked.
Well, I'm very glad that he asked. I was more shocked.
I realize that's a big part of Deadpool's character, but, asking for permission is, I think...
It's a human thing, a real thing, not
exactly. And exactly what we're trying to get across in this podcast is that when you're taking pictures of the cosplayer, if there's something you want to do, asking first is the most important thing.
And if you're
again, this just goes back to just being a good human being and not being a douchebag.
Right.
Like,
unfortunately, there's douchebags out there.
Yeah, I agree. And, I mean, if this does happen to you at a con and we're there, feel free to come get us. We'll take care of it.
So basically,
go to the con promoters first, and if they don't do anything...
Because knowing our luck, Rainer's already pissed off they took away her weapons, and she's just itching for a reason.
Oh, it's not going to happen again. Now that I know, and after I went to that panel about making props, oh yeah, I'm going to have... Like, my boomstick's going to be made out of PVC pipe.
So, it's just funny. I'm going to just end it on that comment, and we can do whatever. But, Rick, this is actually kind of funny, and I don't know if I told you this or not. So, you know her part about how they took away her weapons, right? Well, we were walking around on the floor, and there's people, like, I count at least 50 fucking people with swords. And other staffs. Like, I mean, they took away a goalie stick, and they said, you have a knife? Go on ahead.
Were they physically real knives or rubber?
No, they were real. The one that passed me, the one Deadpool that passed me, I have that set of katanas, and he did not have them zip tied because that's the first thing. Because I know that they do that as long as they're zip tied to let them in. If we didn't go out of our way to go to that baggage check or the weapons check, we would have been fine. That was my fault, and I'm sorry, Rainer.
Well, there was security walking around too, so I mean, if
it was Group 4 fault, they wouldn't have done anything.
If they wouldn't, Well, with my luck, they would have. They'd been like, you have a hockey stick, and then...
Is that a Bauer hockey stick? She's definitely a threat.
Yeah. I mean, it's not part of my costume or anything. I'm not Casey Jones or anything, you motherfuckers. I mean, what? I'm not bitter about it.
Not even a little bit.
No, but I mean, honestly, I'm going to go to what Andrew was saying, is that if you are being harassed at a Comic-Con, get the security.
Yeah.
Go get them. If not, find a bigger person than that person.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, seriously, I saw so many... What?
Finding someone who's cosplaying as Nemesis, they were probably a big, tall person.
Okay, Rick.
So basically, the moral of the story is, if you want to go to a cosplay and touch boobies, all you do is you bring a camera and you ask. They'll probably let you.
That's not always true. Okay, we're gonna stifle that from the record.
It's not okay to just ask someone to touch their boobs.
Well, at least they're asking.
Rick's comments do not necessarily reflect those of the droids you are looking for in Canada.
Nice going, Rick.
Oh,
this is your first podcast in a long time, Rick, and you fucked it up.
Yeah. Do you expect anything less?
Nope.
So it wasn't a sexual innuendo joke. All right. Yeah, basically get a hold of security and let them know. There was a lot of security at the Toronto Comic-Con, but, I mean, realistically, I don't think there was any negative stories that came out of the Toronto one, because I asked that Joker guy, he heard of nothing, and I was talking to Megan Douglas, and Andrew talked to a couple other people, and we didn't really hear anything, so I think that just sounds like it was more like an isolated situation. But you know what? Whether it's a baseball game or a Comic-Con, this shit can happen. It sounds horrible, but it can. But make sure we're taking the right steps and get a hold of security, and trust me, they will be probably removed with a lot of prejudice. A lot.
Hopefully. There are instances at conventions where it doesn't happen, and that's really where the whole cosplay is not consent movement started, was the lack of seriousness that the issue was given by convention promoters.
Well,
particularly, I believe it was PAX East 2 years ago. But, it's made some good grounds, and, with a little bit more work, I think we can make a little bit of noise and make even stronger grounds.
Yeah, in Canada, we're too polite. We would, grope someone and go, sorry, right after.
Even if you accidentally brushed up against them.
That's bullshit. We both know that I was getting pissy by the end of that Comic-Con, and I was starting to body check people.
It was really crowded, and that's always a problem at a convention.
I don't do well with crowds after a while.
You know what? If Toronto Comic-Con is actually listening to this, and I want them to apply this to Fan Expo if they could, can you space out the Artist Alley just by a foot? 1 foot? Every fucking year, I'm sitting there trying to talk to that Joker guy, and I'm getting mounted by people trying to pass me. If you could just do that. They have so much room. Their setup for the floor was horrible, and then they don't tell people if you go eat, you're stuck in there for an hour. Luckily, I just powered through the crowd, and I lost Rainer in the process, but she eventually showed up.
Yeah. If I had my hockey stick...
That's why they didn't let you keep it.
They were all over you, Rainer. They just knew.
They knew.
They just knew.
They knew I would actually probably...
They looked at you and they're like, that woman has rage.
All right.
I'm French, of course.
All right. Well, let's move this on to something a little less serious and have some fun with the lightning round quiz, shall we?
Yeah. What is start the lightning round? Because I'm going to host it.
The droids you are looking for. Lightning round.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay, we're going to start the lightning round. This is going to suck because I know Rick's going to win. I've already been bitching about it just because he's in a different country. But what we're going to do here, we're going to have a little quick game. Maybe there's something we'll do as a monthly. I don't know. It's coming on my pocket. So we'll figure it out. Maybe the prizes will get better. Maybe I'll just buy Rainer a comic book. I don't know. But, yeah. We're basically going to play a game of a word association game, and how the game is played is that I throw out a random word, and the person I call it has to tell me whatever pops in their head. They have 3 seconds to answer, and their answer is the best out of the other 2 people. They win. Can't get any harder than that, can it?
No, but I think it gives the last person that goes a serious advantage.
Yeah, but true, but they have to
let's just start.
All right.
I always got to find something, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, here we go. And the first topic is going to be for Need for Speed. Rick.
Fast and the Furious.
Out. You're out. Baker.
Fast and the Furious minus Paul Walker.
Okay, Rainer.
Grand Theft Auto?
I gotta give it to Baker only because he brought up Paul Walker. First round goes to Baker. Remember, Rick. 3 seconds, Rick. I don't want to mimic a freaking buzzard noise.
I thought you were just saying the category and then you were waiting for a word, so I was...
Hey, I asked several times if we're clear.
Alright, I'm paying attention. Go.
Okay. Baker. Deadpool.
Burritos. Oh, that's wrong.
Rainer.
Chimichangas.
And Rick.
Zombie.
Ooh. We all know what's going to Rainer, so we're just going to give it to Rainer now. Round goes to Rainer! Because she got the right answer. Baker, you got to pay attention to the chimichanga.
I know.
The chimichanga. We close with the chimichanga.
I know.
Okay, next round. Rick, Walking Dead.
No idea.
Rainer.
Carl.
Stay the fuck in the house, Baker.
Why aren't you in the house, Carl? Get in the house, Carl.
Baker takes the round.
I thought it was word association, not phrase association.
Alright, next round.
No, seriously.
Oh. Are you going to get competitive
Are we allowed
about
to
it?
see full sentences? Because if so...
Yes, go with full sentences.
Oh, see, that totally changes the dynamic of the game here.
Nice.
I asked multiple times if we're okay with this, and everyone's like, well, this is great, I understand everything. And now everyone's getting pissy about it.
Well, when you say word association...
Fine, that round does not count. Fine, that round does not count. Sorry, Baker.
No, I'm good with that. It's all fine.
Okay, fine. Pure word association. Now I need to fucking change the category. That's fine, because you know what? It's funny, because I have a new one.
Okay, hold on. So are we doing full sentences or just single word association?
Single word association.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, you know what? You know how many people would just facepalm to listen to this podcast?
Isn't that kind of the idea?
Next category, facepalm. Oh! Droids You Are Looking For podcast. Winner. Okay, moving on. Word association. Are we ready?
Yes.
Rick, that Joker guy.
Ready. Never met him.
Ooh. But that's not a word association, Rick.
Seems cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, Baker.
Sapiosexual.
Ooh. I don't know if he's gonna like that. Rainer.
Pencil.
I gotta give it to him because he gave it to Rainer because he had a giant pencil, and he did try showing us a freaking magic trick.
And he's attracted to intelligence, so sapiosexual works.
Yeah, but the pencil was pretty awesome though. That was a pretty awesome pencil.
Yes, but he's not going to get mad at me because I'm sure he understands the meaning of that word. All right, next. I just don't want the pencil in my skull.
That's a fair concern. Okay, Baker, True Detective.
McConaughey.
Ooh, Rick.
Casting.
Rainer.
Confused. As in dazed.
I have to unfortunately give it to Baker only because he made McConaughey the trail off. That was good. So we have a tie right now. Rick, you got to actually get into this game.
I'm trying.
Okay, next category. Rainer. House.
Lupus.
Ooh, Baker.
It's not lupus.
Oh, that's not a phrase.
It's a sentence, I know.
Eliminated. And Rick.
You, Lori.
I have to give it to Rainer. The answer I was looking for was Carl. Carl.
Carl?
Oh, I get it.
Only because we had the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you liked that.
I'm sorry, I'm still wearing my pajamas brain on.
Okay, moving on. Next round is going to go to Rick, Eliza Dushku.
Hot.
Rainer.
Faith.
Baker.
Dollhouse.
Oof. Tough. Very, very tough. I have to give it to Rainer only because she is more known as Faith than anything else. Alright, next round. Baker, cosplay.
Fun.
Okay. Rainer?
Spandex.
And Rick.
Creativity.
Rick gets a point finally. I gotta get him on the board. Creativity is actually pretty good. Alright, this is gonna be a funny one. Rainer, X-Men Days of the Future Past.
Rage.
Baker.
Potential.
And Rick.
Really?
I should have a secondary judge here because really...
You know you're going to give it to Rainer because you love her nerd rage about X-Men.
Yes, unfortunately that's kind of like a group decision on that one. Okay, alright. This one... What comes to mind when I say Stormtrooper versus Red Shirt? Baker.
Paradox.
Rainer.
Fail.
Rick.
Misses.
I'm going to give it to Baker on Paradox because it really is a paradox. Rick.
How can everybody die when no one gets shot?
I'm sure they still would die from something randomly. Okay, Rick. Star Wars Episode 7.
Disappointment.
Okay. Rainer.
Potential.
Baker.
Lens flare!
God. Oh. I can't see that lens flare was pretty bright. Baker for the win on the lens flare. I'm sorry, the lens flare is too bright for me to pass away. Pass from, it just hurts my eyes just thinking about it. Alright, as it stands right now, after the first 10, Rainer's in the lead by 1 point. Baker's catching at 4. Rick is actually on the board with 1. Rick, are you following in the footsteps of Sean Connery in Celebrity Jeopardy?
The penis is mightier. Damn it, Trebek!
I'll take anal bum covers for 1,000. Okay.
Let's tell me about this penis mightier, Trebek.
Oh, God.
I'll take anal orgies for 1,000. That's analogies.
I'll take famous titties for 1,000. It's famous titles.
The best skit they ever did. Oh, alright, I'm back.
Okay. We're starting the second round. 10 to go. Rainer, can you hold on? We're going to find out. Because these ones are going to be interesting. Remember, best answer wins. So be creative with your answers as best as you can. While thinking about it in 3 seconds. No sexual innuendos, Rick. None.
See,
Right.
that's what makes it so hard.
Okay, Rick, you're going to start off.
That's what she said.
Thank you.
All right. First one's going to go to Rick. Ready?
Ready.
Wrestlers in movies. Oh!
Played out.
I didn't catch your answer. I'm sorry.
Played out.
Played out. Rainer.
Wrestlers in movies?
Yep.
Amazing.
That's off. Okay. Baker.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, I did the Macho Man. Point goes to Baker.
So basically, we just have to be over exuberant to get an answer right.
Well,
Apparently.
apparently. All right.
I was going to go like with a Hulkamania thing, but I'm like, no, that I need it to be one word.
The only reason why you got the point is because Macho Man Randy Savage did stop the Rapture.
Yeah,
He did stop the Rapture.
with an elbow drop from the top rope
To Jesus
of
Christ.
heaven.
Yeah. So I have to give him the point only on that basis. All right, we're going to start with Baker. Titanfall.
Mind blowing.
Rainer.
Clueless.
Rick.
Revolutionary.
Rick gets the point. All right, Rainer. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Boogala!
Oh, wow. Okay, Baker.
Cowabunga!
Oh, Rick.
Childhood.
Just give it to Rick because his is so relaxed. Childhood.
Yep.
I'm gonna give it to Rick because I don't feel fair. He has like no points. I feel bad. There's like a pity point right there.
Oh man, I can look. I'll take it.
Rick's not good with games. Trust me. We played one board game and he completely
Oh
lost.
god.
And there was a bottle of sourpuss that was basically given to Rick, and then he passed out and broke my toilet. But we're gonna leave that alone. But all right,
It's horrible memories.
Baker, Last of Us movie.
Epic.
Ooh, Rainer.
What'd he say?
He said epic.
Potential.
Potential. Rick.
Damn it, you stole my answer. Excited. I don't know.
Oh, really? Just everyone gets a point on that round. I'm the pretty standard answer right there.
Especially if they get Ellen Page to play the role of Ellie.
That'd be just amazing. But
He
that's
was pissed that they took her likeness, though. I very much doubt she actually want any part of that.
the sad part is when I played the video game, I actually thought it was her.
So did
Then I
everyone.
watched. I was
That's
like,
why
"Fuck!"
That's why she got mad.
I was like so excited. I'm like, fuck. Oh right,
Well-
we have a tie, and Rick is actually catching up. So Rick can actually pull off some magic here.
Out of sympathy.
Listen,
Hey, I accept that.
it's not beneath him, Rainer. It's not beneath him. All right, moving on, and I want to hear some really good creative comments on this one. The Flash costume. We're gonna go with Rick. And-
Time's up.
Yep, time's up. Rainer.
Awesome.
Ooh, Baker.
Well, what?
I'm gonna give the point to Rainer only because I actually think the costume's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
What's wrong with it? It's not freaking suede like the last
No,
one.
it just looks off. Maybe it's the color that throws me off. He looks more like Daredevil.
Are you gonna be one of those people that's gonna like Photoshop the picture so it looks brighter? Because I've seen people do that already.
No, I'm not going to Photoshop anything. But I think that the colors made me. When I first saw it, I'm like, Daredevil? Because I didn't catch the corner was cut on my preview screen, so all I saw was the forehead. I didn't see the earpieces, so I thought it was Daredevil at first. I'm like, oh, they're promoting the new Daredevil that's coming to Netflix soon. My bad.
My bad. Alright. I think what we'll do for the next time we have this game, I'll have like the easy button here. And we'll have to do it in person, obviously, so you have to hit the button every single time. I think that'd be a lot more fun.
We might break the button.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. I only paid $1 of Value Village for it. It's fine. That was easy. Alright.
That's what she said.
God, I was waiting! Everyone on this podcast is going, oh, does this ever end? No, it doesn't. Alright, next round. Next one. It's going to be Captain America vs. Superman, Batman on the launch day. We're gonna go with Rainer.
What was the question?
It is Captain America and Superman and the new Superman Batman movie share the same launch day.
Captain America.
Captain America 3.
Yes, Captain America.
Oh, that's your answer, Captain America? Oh, yes, condoms. All right, Rick.
Batman.
Batman. All right, Baker. For the win.
Marvel for the win.
Baker and Rainer get a point only because it's going to be a Captain America victory. I'm sorry, as much as I'm a Batman fan, we all know it's going to be a Captain America 3 victory.
I don't see why.
Because
kidding
the
me?
movie is such a shit show and it hasn't even been made yet.
The news coming out of the Captain America world premiere. Oh my god, I can't wait for April. I'm gonna need like a second pair of pants when I go to see the movie.
And we have too much information for this round. Moving on. All right. Call of Duty is making another trilogy, Rick.
Okay.
Rainer.
Motion sickness.
Ooh. Baker.
This is news.
And because it's a phrase. Rainer takes a point. Rainer is in the lead by 2 points here. I'm just throwing that out there. And we have... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Alright, so I'm a little behind the times, but I just went and looked at the Flash's new costume.
Okay.
Now
Thanks for joining us.
Now I changed my answer to Conehead.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd! Okay, where we go.
Ghostbusters.
Let's hear some creative answers from this one. Okay, we're gonna go with Andrew. Justin Bieber.
Vomit.
Oh, Rick.
Pedophile.
Rainer.
Juvenile.
Everyone gets a point. We all don't like Justin Bieber. I think that's a fair one. All right. Next round is going to be Iron Singleton, also known as T-Dog. We're going to go with Rick.
Jealous.
You should be. Rainer.
Antibiotics.
Dick. Baker.
Classy.
Ooh. Everyone gets a point. Even I don't think Rainer should get one, only because my mouth hurts from my comment.
It's when he's cut his arm and he had to get antibiotics.
Oh, I thought you were making a comment about how I was chewing freaking aspirin all day just to go get a picture with him.
Nope.
Dick.
But you're a dick for thinking that.
I guess. Alright. 2 left. We can do this. And we're going to go with Rainer. Fantastic Forecast.
No!
Ooh. Baker.
Representative of the Representative.
Representative? Are we sure?
Yeah.
Are we fine?
Yep.
Okay.
Final answer, because I can't make a phrase.
Rick?
Interested.
Rainer gets the point. I have to agree with. I think the entire internet went, no.
Yeah, but everybody's forgetting like 10 years ago they did that in the Marvel Ultimate Universe. I mean, come on. Let's let the world get over itself. That Fantastic Four family is a little more representative of what we look at when we go out in the world now.
Why does it have to be so... Oh, you know what? Forget it. Get it.
Get it. Johnny Storm's white. Anyways.
It's not a race thing. This is what the comic book is.
That's what the comic book is, and really...
But 10 years ago, the comic book had a black Johnny Storm.
In a different universe.
In a different universe. That's why I never liked about those things. Everything's going to be a different universe. The only thing they got right in the last Fantastic Four movies is who played Victor Von Doom. That was the only thing they got right.
Oh, absolutely.
But the rest of the movie was bad. And I'm happy that Chris Evans still has a job. But... And last but not least, Deathstroke from Arrow. We're going to go with Baker.
Killer.
Rainer?
Massacre?
Rick?
Perfect.
Rick gets the point because I agree.
I don't know. I don't watch Arrow.
Really? You never seen it? Literally,
You guys know
perfect transfer from the comic book to the TV show.
You guys know I haven't seen it yet.
And we have offered to give you the show.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
You're the one that has a MacBook.
All right. Civility. It's just a game show.
Well, it doesn't matter. She won. So there.
Well.
Oh, do you want a rematch?
No.
No, but I think what we'll do next time is I will have buzzers next time.
I demand a recount.
You're not going to be the governor of Florida, Rick, anytime soon. So no. So Rainer is the winner. She gets a $10 tin card, which she'll use for gluten-free stuff that no one eats. Yay! Oh,
Let's get a chocolate. Fuck.
Oh, funny story. Should we tell them the story about the hot chocolate?
No, I don't think we need to repeat the story about the hot chocolate.
No!
So you have to tell me later then.
She might stab me.
Oh.
It was funny and I was right. That's the only thing that matters at the end of the day. This is horrible. It's gonna be fine. God damn it, fuck shit. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, but you don't think that when chocolate... not with chocolate. If it was water...
Well, of course, if it was water, I'd be like, I'll fucking blow dry my pants. It's gonna be weird whenever it walks past me in the bathroom, but fuck, who cares? Fuck
what?
What?
Oh, I spilled hot chocolate on my pants, and it's chocolate, so it's dark, and I thought it was going to ruin my cosplay. And then I dabbed it with water, and then it miraculously ran away.
Yeah, miraculously went away. She was scrubbing her fucking pant leg with freaking Kleenex for like 10 minutes in the car. I told her to be fine. She made it... Well, I understand, because she's been working on her costume for a long time, so like the smallest thing could be the end of the world for anyone when you put time into something. But she more or less was acting like her pants got like stage 4 cancer from hot chocolate. So I told her to be fine, and she's like, it won't be fine. And then 10 minutes later, she's like, it's fine.
It's chocolate! Again, if it was like, if I spilled Sprite on my pants, it would have been different, but it was fucking chocolate.
Okay, first off, who drinks Sprite anymore? That's my complaint to your comment. Do we manufacture Sprite anymore?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a Coke product.
Oh, I don't drink pop that much anymore. I'm kind of out of the loop, but...
Good man.
I don't drink pop either.
I'm trying to not... Well, no, Fanta is not a pop in my mind.
Fanta's the worst pop.
I know.
What makes that not a pop?
It's an Irish delicacy. Don't take this from me.
Oh, yeah, sure. Like, poutine is a French delicacy. Doesn't make it good for you.
Do you eat it?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not judging you then. Why are you
I'm not trying to say that it's not bad.
Okay, so that's basically today's podcast. Rainer gets to take home a $10 gift card the next time I see her. Hopefully it won't be for a few weeks. And,
That's fine.
That's fine. So we'll... are we going to have our podcast next weekend? What do you think? Is it going to be local? Is everyone going to come over again? Are we going to...
I really don't want to... I really don't want to interact with anyone, just because I hate you all.
Oh.
But maybe.
You can remote in then. That's fine.
You can just remote in. It's fine.
I miss Todd, so...
Aww.
Oh, you're just sucking up so that you get the $10 card instead of me.
Oh,
damn it! My ploy is discovered.
All right.
There were holes. There were flaws.
So, does anyone have any roundtable for today's podcast?
Roundtable?
Yeah. Does anyone have anything to say? Like,
I have a lot to say, but it's not podcast worthy.
Oh.
No, I don't know if I've got anything like.
I don't think so. Like, I mean,
you know what? Stay tuned though, because we should have some exciting news coming up regarding some guests that will be interviewed, like properly.
Yeah, definitely. We've been really pushing out or getting ourselves out there in the cosplay, and I think Toronto ComicCon for us was a huge success. I think that we made a lot of friends, and I know I did, and I know we all did actually, but we're gonna keep pushing to have people on our show that are guests. Maybe if we have to bribe them, or if Rick was still here, he'd help me kidnap half of them and throw them in the trunk of the car. But
I think that's an interview. Yeah. Then. It's not a hostage situation.
They'll still answer my questions. If not, it gets the hose.
It puts the lotion on the skin or gets the hose again.
And this is what happens when Rick doesn't wear pants to the podcast.
That's right. fucking Arizona. But we're gonna have a busy week, so busy couple weeks anyways. And then June we're coming to Niagara Falls Comic-Con again. We are invading for the second year in a row, but we'll have more people with cameras, and
more content to give everyone.
Yeah, and I'd like to have more stuff to give away, which I'm really looking forward to. And we're also kicking around an idea of having months that we talk about a specific cosplayer, and we put all their stuff on our page. So if you are a cosplayer looking for that type of, hey, if you want a free ride, Dunching, or you want to get advertised on our page for no charge, which is kind of nice of us, give us a message. Send us an email. Tweet us. Facebook us. Shit, is there anything they can't do?
Well, they can tweet us. They can Facebook message us. They can email us. I think we should probably give out all those addresses.
We could.
In case they aren't aware. You can tweet us at TDYALF_Canada. That's the droids you are looking for _Canada. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/the droids you are looking for Canada. And our email address is the droids you are looking for Canada @outlook.com.
Yeah. Many different ways to get a hold of us. And we've been handing out our business cards. If you see our business card, take one home. I'm going to start leaving them there for like random places.
Yeah, and all of our information is on the back of those cards.
You have anything to say, Rick, since you never come over anymore?
He's in another country. Cut him a break.
He can drive over. It's fine. It's not that far away.
Yeah, I'll just 4-day drive. So
it's not a 4-day drive. It's a 4-day drive if you stop. If you drive consistently, you can be here in 27 hours. Day and 3 hours. Figured it out.
The other thing to look forward to in June, I will be going to the Phoenix Comic-Con, so I expect lots of pictures. I'll be handing out cards. If any of my Phoenix people here are listening, I know there are some. So look forward to that.
And Rainer, do you have anything that you can say without being full of rage?
Nope. At least I'm honest about it.
I'm actually going to a Monster Jam in April. Do you think they'll let me advertise their page there?
Probably not.
But you think I get a giant sticker and slap it on the side of Gravedigger and be like, George, we're looking for Canada. No, I can be hopeful, though. I'm allowed to be hopeful. Yeah.
Get there early and tag it on the side of it.
Before we wrap up, does anyone know, and I'm just going to ask everyone because it's kind of like a huge trend right now, what did the Fords say to Kevin Spacey?
He called him a douchebag? What was it?
I keep seeing Fords take aim at son of a bitch Kevin Spacey.
Oh, that's exactly what they called him. They called him a son of a bitch. An
arrogant son of a bitch
because he wouldn't take a photo with them.
Because it's Kevin Spacey.
And I think I retweeted it from the Droids You Are Looking For Twitter account, what Kevin Spacey's response was, which was essentially... maybe I didn't.
Did he want to be a part of a dumpster fire?
No. He said, well, maybe... He's like, maybe you should have asked, and then he had someone Photoshop a picture of him from the Oscar selfie into a picture of the two of them.
Quite honestly,
his response was brilliant. I'm going to find it, and I'm going to make sure that goes up on our page.
Okay, well, we'll just let everyone look for that one. But, I can't exactly blame him either. Would you want to be a part of a raging dumpster fire? No. That's really what the Fords are.
Well, some people... Yeah, it may be what the Fords are, but at the same time, to call somebody out like that, and, usually most people will be like, yeah, sure, okay. Unless you're Samuel L. Jackson, and when someone asked them for a picture in the elevator they shared with him, he said, "Oh, hell no!"
Well,
which was just as awesome as getting a picture with him. I would love for that to happen to me. That'd just be awesome.
All right, well, that's it for us for today. I think we're done. Yeah, we're done. An hour and a half, roughly ish. Oh, we'll see how the editing goes. All right, Rick, since you're never here, you can close it now.
I feel so special.
Fucking true.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. We had some fun. Did some serious topics. Did some goofing around. All in all, keep listening. check us out on all our pages. Feel free to message us, and as always, enjoy your chimichangas.
Chimichanga! Jesus Ace Christ.
Sorry, I'm just waiting for an autosave.
Well... Like, what?
Game over, man! It's game over!
Thanks for listening to the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. Stay tuned for next week's podcast.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.